Welcome back. I'm Jen Potter. I'm host of Networking Now, and I'm joined with Jennifer Hopson. And prior to the break, we were talking about time management. Now we're going to jump into building a supportive community. So thank you, Jen, so much for being here again. I'm always excited every time we talk about something. So jumping right into building a supportive community, I even think you can intertwine that with like what we were talking about, how we're able to set ourselves up for success. That was something that we said on the last segment. But I would love to just hear a little bit more about your thoughts on building that supportive community.
So I have a non-conventional thought about community. So when you're starting something like a business or you're getting into something new, a lot of people have the thought that they need the community first, that they're not going to be successful if they do it alone. They have to search for the people. And what I encourage people to do is get started anyway. Do it alone, because if you can be successful by yourself, two things are going to happen. You're going to find your people, and you are going to go further and longer when you have those people. But at the beginning, if you're grasping every person that you currently know in the current version of you, those aren't going to be your people when you grow to the next level. So it's okay to get started alone. And when you really stick to what you believe in and what you're creating for people, whether it's a business or a program, the people that are meant to be around you and be the community that supports you at your next level, they'll show up.
That's really true. And I love that thought process, because sometimes people will come to me and they say, wow, you have such a big community. I want what you have. How do I do that? Well, it doesn't happen overnight. And you have to, just like you said, you create what you're working on and you create the community that you want. And, I run some of the biggest communities in the area. And, sometimes people ask me, like, how long did that take? A decade. It took a decade. It took 10 years for me to get to the place that I am. But that's because it was strategic planning. It was, I'm going to work on these things. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to surround myself with these people. And just like you said, those people start coming to you. That's how we met, right? And that's not a coincidence that, when we finally came together through different things that we were both working on, it was like, oh, wow, I like really being around this person. Well, no kidding, because we put that out into the universe, right? It wasn't like we just randomly showed up somewhere. So I love that, setting it up ahead of time it takes time and patience, and also knowing that it's okay to change that too, right?
Yeah. For sure. Well, and just being reminded that anyone can start anything alone. It's okay if you feel alone at this point in time. At the very beginning, sometimes it feels lonely, especially if you're an entrepreneur. A lot of times it feels lonely on that journey. So you have to show up as the person that you're ready to be, and that's when the universe, it works in a magical way, but it puts the types of people that you will be meant to be in connection with in your path. If you're showing up as your highest form, right? You're showing up, you're doing the things, you're growing, you're doing personal development, you're getting out there to meet people, right? I am a very extroverted introvert. I need to recover after being around people. However, I also get fueled by meeting new people, but I have to get myself out there to begin with. So you have to find the things that bring you joy, or maybe find your introverts, but it's very hard to do if you're sitting at home. And you just have to remember, I started alone. However, I'll build my community because I will go further and I will go longer with a supportive community.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's no coincidence. We're very similar when it comes to that, right? We're extroverted introverts. People tell me all the time, they're like, you have so much energy. There's no way that you're an introvert. I'm like, I actually am. I love to be alone. I love the silence. I love to like not have to entertain people. But when I'm around other people, I thrive. Like I pull their energy in and I love it so much. But the same thing goes for when you're around people that suck your energy out.
Yeah.
So we thrive off of that other people's energy. But if we're in a room where people like pull it away from us, it's
Energy
even
suckers, that's what we call them.
energy suckers. And that's real, right? So we can choose to put the positive people around us to give us energy, or we can be around people who are going to take it away from us. And we control that, right? We control the people that we surround ourselves with. And it's okay not to be around those other people, because building the community that you want is hand picking almost, right? It's like picking the people that you want to be around. Who do
Yeah.
you want to spend your time with? That goes back to your time management. Who are you putting in your schedule that's going to help you succeed or pull all that away from you?
And I think when people start to feel frustrated and they're looking at the 5 people around them or their larger community and they don't feel like other people are supporting them or showing up for them, I challenge them to take stock and ask them, who are you showing up for? Are you showing up for other people, or are you just throwing a pity party wishing that you had a cheerleading section? You have to take time and you have to take stock and say, you know what? I don't have a cheerleading section, but you know what? I'm going to make it a point and I'm going to root for everyone else that I believe is doing something more, or I'm just going to encourage them because I think they're doing a good job. You have to be other people's cheerleaders before you expect them to show up for you.
Oh, absolutely. And I think, for me, that's something that we both do. Like this week with surfing, right? You got to learn how to go surfing and become part of a completely different community, right? Because you did something that stepped you out of your comfort zone. And you're like, oh my God, this is amazing. Then what did you do? You tagged me in a post and then tagged a bunch of your friends. And you're like, I want to show you something awesome because this is how I'm extending my community. You did it naturally and without even knowing that we are going to talk about this today, right? So as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, all of these things are connected. It's happening in real life because that's what we did. We've
Yeah.
created a community of the people and the things that we want around us. And then when we get excited about it, we want it to continue to grow. And like you said, it happens naturally. When you naturally put yourself in a place, these things are going to gravitate towards you and you're going to want to do something that you truly love to do with people that you love to do it. So when you're around it, you're like, oh, this is great. Like I'm going to thrive here. Like I'm going to thrive in this place that I am because I'm surrounding myself by all these people who want me to thrive. And the two of us do this all the time, not just for each other, but we do it for other people. I love watching other people succeed. I love being other people's cheerleader. I love, taking pictures of the people and posting about them on social media and just being like, this person is amazing. And I mean every single word. I'm not doing it to blow smoke. I'm doing it because, wow, I met an amazing person. You need to meet that person too. And I love that.
And at the heart of it, when you're in a community, right, there's going to be the people that naturally show up as leaders. And I believe that leaders, they're joy spreaders, right? I share it because I felt elation or I felt excited and I want other people to feel that, right? I'm not going to it's all mine, it's all mine. I'm going to keep it to myself. If I'm spreading it and inviting people into my new community, maybe they've been part of my life in a different way, but I think they would love this. Why would I keep it to myself? And I think some people are afraid to share. I told you when I said yes to your surfing, I was like, but am I going to get hurt? Right? We go always to fear of the things that are uncomfortable
Right.
and fear of uncomfort. So you have to go, all right, I want to build a community. What kind of person do I want to surround myself with? Stop looking for that person and be that person.
Right. And like you said, right, you're like, am I going to get hurt? Well, I would never put you in a position where you would get hurt, right? But you also are saying, I'm going to put myself in a position where I'm going to trust this community too. I'm putting my trust in, I'm like, hey, anybody can get hurt doing anything. But if you trust me and you trust what we're doing, I'll make sure that you're as safe as you possibly can be. And I think that also helps to really build a strong community because when you have trust in a friendship, it takes you to the next level. When you don't have that trust in a friendship or a community, you're never going to fully be yourself in that space because you're always this I want to entertain somebody else and I want to be what this person wants me to be. And we've done that for so long that I finally got to a point in my life where I don't want to entertain anybody anymore. I want to be myself and I want to surround myself with people who like me for me.
Well, and
Right.
it's not just the entertaining factor. You want to be in a community where you feel comfortable being your authentic self. I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of times in life, we're a version of ourselves, but it might not be the most authentic self. The version of ourselves that shows up is the one that's based on stories or experiences or what someone has told us who we are, and we show up as that person because that's comfort, right? That's what we think we
Mm-hmm.
are. And when you know you're in the right community, it's when you're able to show up as your true authentic self. Maybe it's to someone you just want to sit on the side of them and you don't want to have to say anything because you're usually the person they say, she doesn't stop talking. Or you're the person, maybe some personal experience that has always been deemed as aggressive or mean or nasty. And in reality, your true friends see you as a kind, generous person.
I love that. And it's all perception, right? So depending on what side of you that these people have seen, those things are going to come out. And I recently said this to someone because I finally got to the point in my life where I decided to always be my authentic self. I Anyone prior to my 40s, I have done a disservice to, only because I've never allowed them to see all of me. I would always show a piece of me because I was embarrassed about certain parts of my life, or I just didn't feel confident or comfortable with certain parts of my life. So I never truly allowed all those sides. Not that they all exist, but not everybody would get to see all of me until I decided to be that authentic person. And when I started showing up as me, all of these amazing humans started showing up in my life. All of these powerful, amazing women started showing up in my life, and they have become my biggest supporters and my biggest friends. And I'm doing the same thing for them. I have had like this amazing experience over the past few years where I look around and go, wow, I have a lot of really amazing friends. But in my 30s, I'd be like, I have four friends. I have a lot of acquaintances, but I have like four friends, four people. And now it's like I have like a Rolodex of people I can call and get excited about and have a conversation with and go out for coffee. And that's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing when you show up as yourself and surround yourself with people that you adore, because your community is it's amazing. And I'm excited just saying that because that's how we became friends and have these conversations on the show and talk about doing other things together. And it gets me amped up because I'm like, yes, we're going to see each other succeed. This is amazing. I love it. It's awesome.
It is great. One of the things that I do for clients and that I think continues to build that sense of community is I focus on group coaching a lot of times. And the reason I do that specifically with health and wellness is because you're in an uncomfortable journey, right? Typically, getting back to health and wellness and wanting to feel healthier is uncomfortable because you created some habit that has made you unhealthy or just not the best version of you. So group coaching allows you to be a little bit vulnerable, but also relate to the other people that have said yes to this journey. Even with mindset coaching, right? So many people have that negative self-talk, and part of that negative self-talk is I'm the only one that feels this way about myself. So if someone is looking for the perfect realm to build community, group coaching is amazing. And one of the other things I love being a part of, and I have done for my teams in the past, is retreats. I love retreats because you get to bring a couple of walls down. You spend time, especially as an adult, right? It's like adult summer camp. Sometimes we're just so busy doing life, we don't get to do the fun things as an adult. And I always like to be the kind of the hostess with the mostest. I like doing, things and giving gifts and all that. And I'm not usually a gift giver is my love language. It's acts of service. So I'll do things for people. That's how I show that I want them to be a part of my community. So if you're looking for a way to do that, maybe it doesn't have to be an overnight retreat, but it's a day retreat, just like your surf event at the beach. That's a community building exercise. Have group coaching, have group calls, invite other people in. When it's one-on-one and solitude all the time, that's how you're going to feel.
Absolutely. I love that so much. And I mean, just like everything else that we talk about, we just bring it all together and it's amazing. And the group coaching, I think, and the retreats, I think that is an amazing way to kind of end this segment and talk about you walk away with more friends, you walk away with another community, and it doesn't happen. You're not doing it on purpose. It just happens because you're in this space. And I find it so amazing. So when we come back, we are going to talk about imposter syndrome. So stay tuned. I'm Jen Potter, host of Networking Now, and we'll be right back.